6, and if there's time I've got an idea too. So I'll start with Jamie Porter.
Hi, my name's Jamie Porter. I'm the Health Promotion Worker for Seymour Health, and I work with the Integrated Health Collaborative within Lower Hume. A lot of the projects that we've been doing in the last year around healthy eating, from both the community and food outlets, it's come back that a lot don't buy locally simply because of the lack of awareness. They're aware that there are a lot of websites they can get on, but not everybody is internet literate. So this year we have in Murrumbidgee Shire, with the Murrumbidgee Shire, come up with a fresh fruit and vegetable farm gate trail map. So details and contacts are on there. There's also community gardens, so places where you can go to learn about growing your own food as well, and other initiatives in the area. So I'm now working with Mitchell Shire to do one within the Mitchell Shire area. So if there's anybody here that grows fresh fruit or vegetable, or that knows of anybody that does, if you want to get in contact with me, I can give you my details, and we can put them on the Mitchell Shire one. So we'll have printed maps, as well as it then goes up on the Shire websites and our PCP website, so it's easily obtainable for everybody. And again, there's lots of maps out there, but there's not one specifically for fresh fruit and vegetable. And sometimes, again, people don't like to scroll through the millions and millions of things to find what they're actually looking for. So this just gives them a quick stop shop. And then we distribute them to the community centres, the libraries, the shires, and the maternal health nurses. So they're sort of points of contact where a lot of people come and go, and we'll be accessing that information. Fantastic. Thank you. You can talk to me after.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kaylee.
Hi everybody, my name's Kaylee Meo. We grow olives and produce award-winning olive oil up at Tulleen. And we do small batch processing for other people, so if you've got half a dozen trees, come see me. What I wanted to talk about was touching on Donna's idea about how the tractor sits in the shed for 9 months of the year or whatever. At the moment, I'm half and half between here and Melbourne, and in Melbourne we have a great website that anybody can join, which is called Street Bank, which I've been involved with this year. And basically it's a list of things that you're prepared to share with other people. So that might be equipment, for example, my lawnmower and my whipper snipper on there, amongst other things. But it's also about skill sharing. So if you're, you make bread or you make cheese and you want to teach other people how to do it, if you grow things, you want to, you've got too many lettuce seedlings and you want to get rid of some, or you want to swap food and produce and that sort of thing. So it's basically for anything, but it's just a contact point, and the website for that is streetbank.org, I think. Street Bank, yeah. So, but if you just do a search for Street Bank, that should find it.
Next is Adele.
Is everybody else in our row around to that turn? You'll have to think of something to say. Hello, I'm Adele and I'm from Yay, and I'm involved with the Chitterslow movement. Some of you know about it. It is actually, Yay was the first town in Victoria and the only town at this stage to be internationally accredited as a slow town, and that is a movement. You will see we have a little snail with a town on its back. So if you see that around, that's Chitterslow. And Chitterslow actually was born out of the slow food movement, but it actually tries to apply similar principles to the whole lifestyle of a town. So if you've got a great town with a wonderful lifestyle, we'd be very happy to tell you what you need to do to become a Chitterslow. We'd love some more towns. I just wanted to very quickly say that we have a couple of projects simmering along that you might be interested to know about. One is that we do already have a fruit tree register in our town, and people can register their excess produce, and somebody picks it up and takes it to the market once a month so that people can just share their veggies and fruit that way. Out of that came the idea that we would start to advertise, just about to do this, foster a fruit tree. So we've got a lot of people in our town that can't look after their fruit trees any longer. They can't climb a ladder or something like that. But they'd be really happy to invite somebody else to come in and share their produce in return for helping with looking after their orchard or their one tree or whatever. So that's a project we've got happening. And the other thing is that we're dreaming of some sort of food event this time next year in Yea, and we would hope that anybody who's a fruit producer within an hour's drive of Yea would let us know if they'd like to be involved. It's a dream at the moment, but fingers crossed we'll get there. Thank you.
Thanks, Adele. Mike? Mike?
Yes.
Ah, Mike.
I'm Mike Garrett. I'm from Heathcote, and there's a group of us have really been talking about access to what I call public food. While I do a lot of wild foraging, mushrooms, fruit, plums, various sorts of plums, apples, crab apples, quinces, and I've had people come to me and say, look, I've got this funny tree, it's got very funny shapes, it's a medlar. The only one I know of, I've got wild mulberries. In fact, Heathcote's got a mulberry tree that's 150 years old. And unfortunately, we picked the mulberry tree this year, and we generated a marvellous jam out of it. And we took cuttings. Every one of those cuttings is starting to grow.
Oh,
And Mark.
Hi there. I'm from the Seymour Community Garden. I'm actually here to try and field out ideas for funding because we've got I've got until the 31st of this month, and then my role finishes at the Salvation Army coordinating the community garden. And the Salvation Army, although they're supportive of what's going on there, that the philosophy they're not really in support of the community garden. So yeah, we're looking for funding. We've got the TAFE are interested in running a Cert 2 in production horticulture there, so they're all gung-ho about that. We've got employment agencies that have said, yeah, we'll send you some people. I've got Work for the Dole people there. I've got a couple of disabled people who are, they come to the community garden. It gives them so much, life. They love it. And so it breaks my heart when I think, what's going to happen, on the 31st. So if any of you know of any funding ideas, please talk to me.
And if I was down there, I'd be putting my hand up to tell you about food initiative I'm involved in Macedon, which is where I live. About 7 years ago, 2 other women and myself in the school playground decided to get together and work in each other's gardens growing food. That group is now still going 7 years later. There's about 15 of us in the group, and every Friday morning you can go to someone's house in Macedon who's in the group. It's a roster system. She will then put on morning tea, although we've just reversed it, but we used to start with morning tea, and then when we'd finished morning tea, yeah, you can all see the problem. It took us about 6 years to see the problem. But at the end of the morning tea, you then go and spend a couple of hours in her veggie garden or whatever. They built me a goat run, you'll prune trees, whatever she wants you to do, you are the labour. Or there's a couple of, very engineering minding people, you want something laid out properly, you just get them on the job. So, and it's a place to belong, it's a place to grow food, it's just a wonderful community and it works really well. Okay, so now, having done that, there was no one else last minute wanted to come up and...
I was just thinking about the mental health aspect of gardening that you were talking about, and how very important that is for people with disabilities or people with mental health issues. It getting their hands dirty and seeing things grow is just so good therapeutically for them.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep. So now we're going to work in small groups. There's 6 stations around the room, and we're going to number off to 6, and hopefully that won't end up with groups that are too big, but we'll just have to work with the groups we've got. And what you'll do in your group is look at the questions. There's 4 sets of questions, and there's 2 maps. The maps are to map food initiatives that you know of in those areas. One is a sort of very local map, and the other is Victoria-wide. So in the Victoria one, you're not going to be looking at the local shires, you're only going to be looking further afield. And then the questions, and I'll tell you what the questions are. One station has 2 questions. What are the problems with food production now? What solutions are there for these problems? Second station, what are the problems with food access now? What solutions are there for these problems? Then we've got the 2 mapping. Then what is another station? What is your vision for a vibrant food culture? And a second question, how do we change current food culture? And the last question, 6, what food initiatives would you like to see happening in your community? What food dreams do you have? So in small groups, you just spend a few minutes, 5 minutes probably, brainstorming any answers to those questions. You can have conversations, but don't let people's ideas be lost because you had an argument about whether it's really an answer to the question. We just want everyone's ideas are welcome on the paper. And so does everyone get that? So after a few minutes, you'll move along around to the next station and you'll see what the previous group has written, and then you'll have a conversation and you'll add things to that. And you'll go around until you come back to the one you started with, and then you'll have a look at what other people have added to the question that you began with. And then we'll quickly try and summarise what's on those pages. And then we'll come back into the main group and we'll have a sort of open insights, things that came up, things that surprised you about that process. And we should be at that stage nearing the end of our time. What's written on these pages will be written up. So that's the commitment that the group have made to write up these notes and to circulate them and distribute them. So any questions on the process at this point? All right. So the daggiest way I can think of to go around is just to get you to number 1 to 6, and then I'll tell you where. Well, we'll stay. 1's over in that corner. 2 is that map. 3 is this table, and you can drag your chairs over so that's a seated section. Then over here there's another map. So that would be 3, 4, 5 here, and then there's another table over here, and we'll drag that out and you can take chairs over to that. So there's a couple of seating options and there's 2 standing ones. Okay, so we'll start with Mike, 1, and over here, Katie.
3, 5,
1,
2,
3,
4,
5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2,
1.
3. 4.
5, 6,
1.
1, 2,
It's tricky. 3, 4, 5.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5,
5. Beautiful. And there's 6, Cynthia will go on. So, sorry, that's really a bit, you might think you're in school. So 1 over there, so 1's make you over there. 2 is the map of the shires. 3, 4, 5 and 6. And I'll ring a bell when you're to move or yell.
with that map.
Okay, if you could start finishing your conversations in your groups and moving along to the next group. You'll move down here. So 1 will move to 2, 2 will move to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 up to 1. Okay, so groups start moving on. 6, can you please stand up and leave from the table?